Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rebecca Arthur, President CEO of the Seminole County Chamber, and Kelly Rogers, Vice President of Client Services for Find Some and Win More, and the past chair of the Board of Directors.
We're here to recognize some amazing Seminole County businesses and find out who the winners are.
To even be nominated is an honor. We've had a lot of great nominees this year, and every business deserves to be showcased for their impact and their success. So we did our awards a little differently this year. We want to not only recognize our winners, but also dive in a little deeper to exactly what makes them a winner.
To select today's winners, we opened nominations for several weeks to nomination committees. After that process, we asked each nominee several questions, looking for specifics about the company's business accomplishments and more.
The impact of these companies is quite impressive. Just from those who provided the information, our nominees represent thousands of jobs in Central Florida. Not only are their businesses growing, but the impact they are making on the community through philanthropic efforts is growing as well.
The selection committee was made up of chamber professionals all across the United States. They reviewed all the applications and scored each finalist based on the information submitted. With so many incredible nominees, it was not easy for them.
Before we jump into our winners, we would like to recognize our top 10 finalists this year. When your company name is called, please stand and remain standing to allow everyone to recognize your significant accomplishments. So the 2025 finalists in alphabetical order are
Brewlando, Sanford.
Community Legal Services,
Cookies for Kids Cancer,
Domtar Resolute Tissue,
Edge Systems,
Fairwinds Credit Union,
Seminole State College Center for Business Development,
St. John's Rivership,
The Good Poor,
and Valhalla Esports Training, Wekiva Springs.
Congratulations to all the finalists. Today, we're going to hear how the top 5 Seminole Stars showcase their strengths and that made them our finalists.
As a special treat this year, we've invited past winners to help present awards. Please welcome one of our 2024 winners, Fairwinds Credit Union, represented by Tanya Boggs, Senior Vice President, who will help introduce our first Seminole Star.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. Our first awardee has built community impact into the heart of their business. With more than a decade of service in scouting, 13 years on the Seminole County Public Schools Business Advisory Board, and leadership roles in school committees, they've dedicated countless hours to supporting students and families. They host 12 to 15 high school interns each year, equipping them with technical, communication, and leadership skills through hands-on experience and real-world exposure. Beyond schools, they run operations for their nonprofit organization, consult with new nonprofits, and serve as a proud chamber ambassador. For them, profit and community impact go hand in hand, and their work continues to shape the next generation of leaders.
And the winner is Edge Systems.
Our next nominee is a nonprofit with a powerful mission to fund research for safer and more effective treatments for childhood cancer, the leading disease-related killer of children in the United States. What makes them unique is their innovative model that merges a tangible, delicious product with a deeply impactful cause. Through grassroots fundraising, gifts that give back, and community-hosted events, they've empowered thousands to join the fight against pediatric cancer. To date, they have funded more than $23 million in research grants, directly supporting 60 treatments and clinical trials that children are benefiting from right now. With every cookie shared and every dollar raised, they continue turning simple acts into life-saving solutions.
And the winner is Cookies for Kids Cancer. To present our next awards, please help me welcome a 2023 Seminole Business Awards winner, Erin Kamalzadeh, owner of Your Business Photographer.
Thank you, Rebecca. Our next nominee began in a single location concept with a mission to blend curated wine and spirits with meaningful community impact. Since then, it has grown into a scalable franchise system attracting national attention, fueled by a model that combines operational simplicity with purpose-driven giving. Through its BOHO platform, Buy One, Help Others, love that, customers can direct a portion of each purchase to nearly 200 charity partners that are local and international causes. In addition to these donations, they host sip and shop events and volunteers in the community, deepening connections and support for nonprofits. With steady growth and a mission rooted in generosity, they are proving that every purchase can make a difference.
And the winner is The Good Pour.
The next winner today is Seminole County's go-to hub for small business support and entrepreneurship. Through programs like the Florida Small Business Development Center and the Business Incubation Program and El Collective for Women Entrepreneurs, they provide no-cost or low-cost resources that help businesses launch, grow, and thrive. Their innovative model brings consulting, co-working, mentorship, and strategic guidance together under one roof, making them a trusted partner for small business success. With intentional outreach to women, veterans, minorities, and low-income entrepreneurs, they are breaking down barriers and creating pathways to opportunity. Committed to social responsibility and economic empowerment, they continue to shape a stronger, more inclusive business community in Seminole County.
And the winner is Seminole State College Center for Business Development.
Our next nominee has built its reputation on 3 pillars of customer service: understanding, anticipation, and quality, earning glowing reviews and a loyal following across its growing locations. The company has achieved remarkable year-over-year growth with revenue increases of 31% in its first year, 49% in the following, and this year is projected 200% in 2025. Strategic partnerships with hotels, theme parks, restaurants, and local universities have fueled this expansion while reinforcing their regional presence. By pairing exceptional service with innovation and culture of collaboration, this nominee is raising the bar for both customer service experience and sustainable growth.
And the winner is Brewlando, Sanford. We're now to the final award of today, but before we go into the panel and you get to hear about what makes these businesses Seminole Stars, we're going to have the award, which is a special recognition thanks to our gold sponsor, Nemours Children's Health. Please welcome Dr. John Clore, Associate Chief of Florida Primary Care of Nemours Children's Health, and a member of our board of directors, to the stage.
Good afternoon. It is my honor to announce the recipient of the second annual Well Beyond Award, a recognition that celebrates a business or individual who goes above and beyond their everyday responsibility to serve their community. This award reflects the spirit of Nemours Children's Health, where we go well beyond medicine to support children and family, many that may never step foot in our hospital or clinic. Today, we recognize a Seminole County business that exemplifies the same commitment, one that understands the importance of helping their community thrive, especially in time of need. At the heart of this year's award recipient is a deep dedication to service, programming, and philanthropy, impacting thousands of lives across Central Florida. In 2024 alone, they provided over $400,000 in financial support to local nonprofits. Through a new initiative launched in partnership with this chamber, they've dedicated $2,500 to each professional women's luncheon, totaling $10,000 to organizations like Empower Christian Tech Center, Rescue Outreach Mission, and the Sharing Center, with another donation to come next month. Their generosity does not stop there. Within their company culture, they encourage team members to give back. And in 2024, their associates contributed over $12,000 in pay-it-forward dollars and they volunteered over 3,340 hours to support local causes. And as we all know, the time we spend serving others is truly priceless. It is with great excitement and deep appreciation that we present the 2025 Well Beyond Award to VyStar Credit Union and their incredible associates. Congratulations, VyStar, and thank you for going well beyond for our community.
Now I'd like to welcome Alan Bird of Alan Bird and Associates, who's going to moderate a discussion from these incredible Seminole Stars.
All of you, if you can answer this, what do you believe is the one thing that you or your business has done that brought you success today? Amy?
I think helping our community. Seminole County is so collaborative, and what we do at our Center for Business Development is to reach out to all the Seminole County businesses, offer our services, but collaborate with everyone else that's doing similar things. We collaborate with the National Entrepreneur Center, Seminole County Economic Development, the cities, municipalities, everybody that we work with. I think we do a really good job of providing services that are accessible to everyone. And like John said in the video, you know, we used to be the best kept secret in town, unfortunately, but we've been doing this a long time and we bring some really great results. I see clients, I see our L Collective Women's Entrepreneur members in the audience here, and we just have a lot to offer, and I hope that those of you who have not had the benefit of reaching out to us will do so.
Mike?
I think that we changed the way, we took an industry that has a tendency to have a very negative outlook from many people and turned it on its head, and also took an industry that has been stale for many years and completely changed the way you can shop for wine and spirits and gifts and everything else that we do, and we made it fun. And we have changed charity at checkout. No longer is it the awkward, ask if you want to round up or donate change or anything else, because we donate it from our profits. So you get the ability to donate to a charity that you get to select, but it comes from our profits. So nobody gets left out of that giving experience at checkout. So we've changed charity at checkout as well.
Fantastic. Beth?
Yes. Okay. So first of all, I'd like you to say that if you have the Good Poor app, go to Cookies for Kids Cancer and round up for us.
And the reason for your success is because you're quite open with that, and that's wonderful. Everybody, that's what you do. Good job.
Cookies for Kids Cancer, I've been in the childhood cancer space for more than 2 decades. My son is a childhood cancer survivor, and my grandson is an angel. So saying that, I believe in the cause. I know that it's the #1 disease killer of children, and nobody wants to talk about it. But if I can bring something sweet to the table and embrace every single community and every single person that I meet and say, hey, do you want to be a good cookie? I think it's an easy entryway for any business, individual, school, person that walks this face of the earth to do just a little tiny bit to embrace being a community, not only with being a good cookie with Cookies for Kids Cancer, but being a community holding hands across the whole entire world and being a community everywhere so that we can really make a change and make a difference. And I just want to see kids be kids. And being in this space for more than 2 decades, I've seen things that nobody should see, and I don't want to see that anymore. So be a good cookie. And that's how I do it, and we do it.
Fantastic. Now, what is there a good wine or beer that pairs well with chocolate chip cookies?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, so we'll figure that out. Sean, go ahead. What's the one thing that brought you success?
I think the first one is just realizing you have to take action. You can't just think about the good thing you want to do. It's actually realizing you can get out there and actually do it. Doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be hours a week, doesn't have to be thousands of dollars, but there's a small action that you can do that's going to make a serious impact on somebody else's life. And that's true in business as well as all the nonprofits we work with. There's a little bit of action, 5 minutes here, a good word there, a good deed, a conversation with a kid. It could change their entire world for the day, for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month. You can have a serious impact. And once you realize that and you just say, yes, I'm going to take an action today, that changes the world. And I take that same approach with all the customers I have too. It's just when they have a need, I will find a way to make that work. We're going to find a way. It's always a yes. There's never a no. There's never no way we can do this. There's going to be a way we can move forward. So Same thing.
Fantastic. Shara, and did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I would say that care for people and community is what's at the core of Brewlando, because that's how the business actually got started. I was, and still am, in manufacturing and software, so the brewing business was not something that I intentionally stepped into, but I was the landlord of a brewery that unfortunately did not make it after COVID, and their staff learned of the business, the closure, 2 weeks before Christmas in 2021, and basically came to me and begged me to keep these doors open, and I said, okay, we'll do that, and I'll look for a new operator. And in the search, I found an amazing executive, somebody who also shared a lot of the passionate beliefs that I have about people and community, and he joined the team, and that's how the story continued, because expanding into Sanford was exactly that. The business basically was at its last legs, and all of their employees had not been paid for 2 months, and so we initially took it on, and we were going to just buy the building and make sure that the employees got paid, and that was supposed to be the end of it, and here we are. So.
Fantastic. Dawn?
Well, at VyStar, our purpose is to do good. It is just that simple. It's 2 words. It's actually why I took the position in the first place. And I think it's our North Star as an organization. It permeates everything that we do, from our team members who are taking care of our members in the branches, and by extension throughout our community. And really it's our members, all 1 million plus of them, who enable us to be able to do good in the communities that we serve. So I think that for us, that is a differentiator, to always keep do good at the forefront of everything that we're doing, whether it is for our members or for the community at large.
I love Shara's opening, talking about how she opened her business. Sean, why did you open your business?
There was a need. I think I touched on it in the video a little bit. In working with a lot of multinational companies, large organizations, large insurance companies, and having a lot of experience in small business as well, I saw that there was this vast chasm between what a large organization can handle if something goes south. There's a cybersecurity breach, there's a power outage, there's a flood, it could be anything, versus what a small mom and pop shop can handle if something like happens. It could be completely devastating, and you're talking about life savings, you're talking about a family that's invested everything. And seeing that and seeing what could happen and what could go wrong, I spent about 2 years trying to develop something and put together a system that I can help them gain a competitive edge and give them the same level of protection, or some kind of reasonable protection, to protect their business, to protect their family, to protect their life savings. And that's what drove me to get things going the way they are. And I never wanted to get any bigger than working with those small businesses, because they're the most vulnerable. And to this day, at 14 years now, I keep it the same way. It's the small, under 20 employee businesses that I think are the most vulnerable. They're the ones that I'm focused on helping out.
Mike, why did the Good Pour start? Because, and particularly interesting because of how much competition there is for wine and spirits in the world out there, and you guys have really made a big splash. But why did you guys decide to go into that route?
Well, Ray, the founder, was involved in the liquor industry for a long time for a number of, one of the largest in the world, Constellation Brands, and he saw it is such a huge industry. I think it's $270 billion industry, and he just saw it as a way to do good, and he worked that corporate life and had a great job and did very well at it. But him and his wife decided they wanted to do something where they could actually give back, and it did start out, they were just going to open one location. I've done business in Seminole County for a number of years. I had a couple of restaurants here in Seminole County, and he has just a great team. They worked on it for 2 years before we ever even got a store open. And he came to me and asked me, hey, you want to get out of the restaurant business and help us grow this thing? We have a crazy idea that what if we take this thing and we take it pretty large, how much good can we do, in this industry? And I spoke to my wife about it, and it wasn't a too difficult a decision, just because it's now you have a business model that has a very high ceiling, and yes, it is for profit, but at the same time, where else are you going to come across a business model like that you could also help so many different charities. And Susan, who's over here, I mean, has us connected to over 200 charities, many of which are right here in Seminole County. And we thought, that's a really cool idea. So we made about a 9 to 12 month plan to liquidate the restaurants and get into this thing. And we sold Pickles New York Deli was our last one. We sold in February, and here we are full time now. So Ray and his wife had the vision several years ago. They worked on it for 2 years, and now we have 4 open locations and about 4 under construction.
Fantastic. There's been a lot of talk about community. One of the things we hope to do is be able to share some insight that you may be able to take back to your business. So one of the things that happens with any business is you get inundated with requests for nonprofit, either in-kind or donated services. Dawn, how could a business, and use your example, but how could a business kind of weed through and choose and select when they're inundated with requests, and there's so many needs in our community?
You're right, Alan. There's always more need than what all of us together can support. So at VyStar, we have 3 primary giving pillars: military, because we were founded at Naval Air Station Jax, youth, and community building. And so everything that we support falls into one of those categories, primarily military and youth. And so I think that for any organization that's looking to support other organizations, think about what your North Star is. What are your highest priorities? What are the goals or the causes that you are aligned with? And really kind of just stick to that. You don't have to support everything. You can just focus in on, what is most meaningful to you, and you can have the most impact there.
Beth, besides money, what's the one thing a business can do for you?
Yeah, well, I love people. And I love community, and I hope that when somebody walks away from me that they want to talk to me again, and that they can share who they are, and that I can send them a birthday text or have a relationship that grows to not only my community but onto their community, because we're all in this together. And doing a little bit for all different causes. I believe in the childhood cancer research cause, but there's lots of causes in Seminole County that I support as a volunteer, and I think that that's what it's all about. I think it's, I've been very present, and I think that I've been called everything from cookie lady to hey you. I don't mind any of it, but it's about being visible and being there, present in the community, and I've been very present in this community and very grateful for the love and respect and the hope that I get from every, introduction and relationship that I've been lucky enough to have.
Fantastic. Maybe a little bit tougher question, Shara. What keeps you up at night?
Everything.
Okay, next.
I mean, I feel like I have a tremendous responsibility on my shoulders, because between the 3 businesses that I own and operate, there's almost 200 employees. And for me, a part of my vision and my purpose is to always try to recognize and honor what I have to do in those spaces. And so everybody's problem becomes my problem. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Amy, what keeps you up at night?
Oh gosh, I don't sleep, so nothing keeps me awake at night. I think making sure that I can do everything possible for our employees, for our businesses, and for the partners that we have. There's a lot going on, and Seminole State College is your learning partner for career success, and I'd like to think that the Center for Business Development is your resource partner for small businesses in the county.
Mike?
Where do I start? I think like anybody's business out there, it's a grind. I mean, we're only, 3 years in, and it's an absolute grind. In this industry, the margins are very tight. And with what they started, I keep looking over at the corporate team because they really got this started before I even got involved. They just want to over-deliver. The good poor wants to over-deliver no matter what they do. So when you're out there getting somebody into this industry as a franchisee, for example, it's not cheap. Your liquor license, your build-outs, and your inventory in this industry is very expensive. So we try so hard to over-deliver. We get involved in everything from the construction to the permitting to the actual GCs, the site selection, help them with their leases. And then, of course, when it's time to open a store, we have thousands of SKUs, so we help them get in there and get all that started. We just want them to succeed, because if they don't succeed, we don't succeed. So right now, we are in the grind time. Gotcha. And yeah, that's
Beth?
right.
Well, just funding enough research keeps me up at night, thinking about all the thousands of families, the 400,000 kids that are being treated, and 40,000 that are diagnosed every day. That keeps me up at night, and just knowing that I can do better, but trying to know that I can't do it alone. So trying to get a little wink here and there, but that definitely keeps me up at night.
Sean?
I don't think it's so much what keeps me up at night as much as what gets me up, really. And this is true for just about every business owner I've ever met. There's got to be something more than money, more than success that drives you. There's got to be something bigger than yourself that really gets you motivated. You know, for mine, my three are sitting over there, right there at the table. They get me up in the morning, in a lot of ways. But they keep me motivated to keep moving forward. You know, there's always something bigger out there than yourself that has got to drive you to keep you going. And yes, it means being up all hours of the night, taking care of those things sometimes, but there's got to be that motivation to keep on going.
Don?
I think just always wanting to be able to do more. Like I said, you know, there's limited resources and there's so much need, and, you know, how can we leverage our philanthropic gifts or our volunteerism? And, you know, there's so many great organizations out there that I would love to partner with, and so just trying to look at creative ways to be able to work with different partners throughout our footprint.
A show of hands, who's worried about the economy over the next 12 months? Who's not worried about the economy over the next 12 months? Okay, so everybody's neutral? All right, so the economy is one of those things that none of us up here can really control. So how do you deal with things that are outside your control, political, the economy and stuff like that? Sean, you look like you're ready to answer.
Change is a constant. I mean, you got to be ready for just about anything that could come your way. And if there's anything I've learned in technology, you don't count on anything ever working at all at any point in time. You have to be able to embrace and be agile enough to shift when you need to shift. You know, we worry about money, and that's going to keep us up at night. We worry about paying the bills, that's going to keep us up at night. There's always going to be a way forward. You know, and you just got to be ready to figure out what that is, and just trust that, you know, things are going to get better, things are going to move forward. You may have to change what you're doing, your focus, your outlook. But again, I'll go back to what's going to get you out of bed in the morning, what's bigger than yourself that's going to keep you motivated to find those answers. If you find that, there's really nothing to worry about.
Anybody else want to add on to that? If not, I can move on. Mike, go ahead.
I'll just say, I've been self-employed since the mid-'80s and seen so many different ups and downs, and I always just remind myself, when things are good, they're never as good as you think. And when things are bad, they're never as bad as you think. So being a business owner, you just have to set yourself up, because you know the downturns are going to come. So set yourself up in advance to know you got to be able to weather that storm. I mean, we weathered COVID and, you know, figured it out and actually thrived through it. And so you know it's coming. You know, don't get too high when the times are good, and don't get too low when they're not so good.
Amy, what are you sharing with your businesses that you're helping at the Development Center as far as the outside pressure and the things that are going on that you can't control?
Yeah, I think uncertainty is the biggest thing when you're not sure of what's coming, what's going to happen. I know right now on the state level, the federal level with different laws, a lot of folks are experiencing that in their businesses, tariffs, et cetera. I think just being prepared and, you know, just being able to know that the pendulum usually swings back. And like you said, the highs are not as high, the lows are not as low. Just having a plan in place, and I think that's key for what we suggest to our business owners, is having a plan. What would you do in this case?
Shara, you mentioned you employ about 200 workers. Is it difficult to find employees now, or how do you find, what is this kind of state of workforce that you're seeing, and are there any tips that you'd like to give to really finding great workers?
You know, I think that's the number one challenge of most businesses. It certainly is in our space, and most of the business owners that I speak to share the same sentiment. It is very difficult. And I think that that's a combination of a generational shift, as well as I'm just frankly a change in work ethic. I also think that COVID was a pivotal point for a lot of people, and it just changed the way that people viewed the world and what they contribute and how hard they work, and so all of those things combined present, I think, a real challenge to business owners. And is there a secret? I don't think so, but you just have to keep trying. And out of I'll give the Sanford Brewing Company as a perfect example. When we decided that we would acquire the Sanford Brewing Company, they had 2 locations, and we committed to giving everybody the same fair chance, and we don't give up on people. So we try and we try and we try, and out of, I think, 25 employees that we inherited, that we hired all of them, there's just 5 of them left. But they are exceptional, and they're all in it. They believe in our vision, and they support the business, and we support them.
Amy, what are some of the greatest needs you're hearing about from companies when it comes to workforce?
Oh, gosh. Different industries are a little bit different. I can't speak specifically, but they're looking for people who have critical thinking skills. You can teach to the task, but people who are committed, who are going to show up on time. Some of the things that we all used to take for granted, of course, you're going to show up at your job on time, you're going to show up ready to work. That hasn't been the case so much, especially post-COVID. So I think critical thinking skills and the ability to learn and to adapt to whatever that training is for that particular industry.
Gotcha. Let's go down the road. We'll start with you, Dawn. Who was your mentor, and how did you benefit from having one?
Oh, gosh.
And by the way, they don't have not gotten these questions before, so these are all off the top of their heads.
Okay, well, I have a couple mentors, but I'm going to name, I think the Florida Blue Table knows who I'm going to name. Tony Jenkins, he is my mentor. And, he just he talks me off the ledge sometimes. I'll call him up all in a huff, and he'll be like, okay, calm down. So he helps me to look at the big picture and really kind of think strategically. Where do you want to be in 3, 5, 10 years? And what are the steps that you have to take to get there, and don't be such a hothead. So it's very helpful to have those conversations with him.
I would have never pictured you as a hothead, Dawn, but that's okay.
See, it's working.
Shara?
I've had a lot of mentors in my life, but I'd like to talk about 2 of them because they're here today. And so the first one is my dad, who I've learned a lot from. My dad is also an entrepreneur, and I always think of the fact that when he was my age, he left a very big family business, 350 employees with nothing, and we had to start all over again. And we did it, and he did it. And so that journey of building from the ground up, there's been invaluable lessons by just being in that space and working with him. And the second person is our CEO, James Webb, that I'm actually in this space because I met James when I was trying to offload Brewlando. James was with another very large conglomerate brewing company, and they were going to expand their footprint into Central Florida. And I thought, great, I got a tenant, I'm out. But there are no wrong turns, right? And we ended up in this space. But I've learned so much. I continue to learn so much from James. As a leader, he is committed. He shows up every day. He's very present. Doesn't give up on people. And he's taught me to be more patient and a little more understanding and less hot-headed too. So I've learned. I think, very, very crucial and important things from these 2 men.
So, Dad, James, can you stand real quick just so everybody knows who she's talking about? All right, Amy, I guess you got to pick somebody in the room now. No, only kidding. Whoever you want.
No, I was going to copy and do two as well. My dad, of course, he was a restaurateur, entrepreneur, and raised 8 children, educated all of us, and really taught me the meaning of the word work ethic. When somebody called in sick, he'd be like, "You're in." I was like, "No, I'm off today." "No, you're not." Really taught me that work ethic that I think has taken me to where I am today. And my other one is my current boss, Dr. John Gillen. He has really challenged me to do things that I was never comfortable for doing, one of them being on a panel where the questions are not provided to you, being put on the spot a little bit. So he knows I don't like to be in front of cameras or anything, but I do it because it's part of my job and I want to get better. So thank you, John.
John, stand up. Mike?
I have a lot, actually. I can't go down the list of the number that I have. I mean, obviously my father at a young age, he was instrumental. I think the biggest thing he taught me is to take chances, You're not going to play it safe. Just do your homework, just go to school and do what everybody else does. You're going to get the same kind of thing, and you have that crazy spirit. So don't be afraid to jump in. If you fail, so what? Just try it a different way. And then I was fortunate to actually do business with a guy for probably 35 years, and he's always been a mentor. I met him when I was much younger. He's a bit older than I am, but he ran a massive company. And for some reason, he took the time with me, and we did business for over 30 years together on a handshake. We never had a contract together. And to this day, I talk to him 3, 4, 5 times a week, just either about the business that he's running right now or the challenges that I have. And he's that steady force. He had about 35,000 employees, so there's nothing he hasn't seen.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool to be able to reach out to somebody like that.
Fantastic. Beth?
Yeah, well, I can't say I have specific all the way because there's been so many people that have been instrumental in helping me mold, but my son's oncologist, she used to say, "Beth Robertson, you are the squeaky wheel and never ever stop doing that." And when my grandson got sick, the first person I texted was Dr. Sue Reingold at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and I said to her, "Hey, help me with the next steps." So I really respect her, and she was a fellow, and so anybody in the medical world knows when my son was diagnosed, and now she's the head of leukemia lymphoma at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and saying that I go to her a lot because I ask people for money to see something that they might not ever see, but they might know Johnny down the street. And Johnny down the street needs hope and time, and that's what they're going to give them with their $10 donation. So I am so grateful for that. And also, I have to say I'm so grateful for my husband because sometimes what I do is extremely sad, and sometimes I have to step away. And being personally connected, he is British and from Scotland and is like stiff upper lip, like, "Get it together, girl, okay, you got it." And if I didn't have that stability of somebody kind of like the wake-up call of, "Okay, you got this, I know you got this, I've seen you have this for 31 years and you are going to keep having it," I couldn't continue on with a smile, I think, all the time. So, but yeah, I'm super grateful for that.
Sean?
Like everybody, there's always been a slew of them. Early on, I'd say my grandfather taught me that work ethic. He was up early every day, worked. He did what he had to do for his kids. My father taught me, always protect the most vulnerable. And then later on, gave me that sage piece of advice. It's not always what you know, but it's who you know. Then over the course of years, there's been a slew of other business owners I've always pulled some great piece of advice from, some great education from. Now I'm learning a lot about the nonprofit space, and there's all kinds of executive directors out there that have been teaching me a lot. And currently I'll point to Tony Boney up here in the front. I love arguing with this man. It's great. I get to give him a hard time, and eventually I get to learn something too. It's been absolutely amazing. So a shout out to you there.
You know the routine, Tony. Stand up.
Yep.
All right, we got time for one more.
Can I interject for 1 second?
Okay.
Sorry, off script.
You may take away the last question, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be real brief. Sometimes mentoring isn't a formal relationship. Sometimes it happens with a little nudge. And so I have to give credit to Amy Kirkland because many years ago, we were on a board. I was assigned from work. This is going to be your board.
And it came time for like executive committee and stuff. I had no interest. And she was like, you're going to put your card in. You're going to apply to be on the executive committee. I was like, I don't want to. She's like, no, you're going to do this. And so that kind of set the course for me from there. So I want to say thank you, even though, we don't have like a formal mentoring relationship, but I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So-
I saw
you go.
something obviously in you.
This is a popular question. Go ahead, Shara.
No, just really quickly, Beth, I do have to say this. I participated in the leukemia, lymphoma Visionaries of the Year 2 years ago, and I happened to win Team Member of the Year that year, and so I helped them again last year, and they called me 2 weeks ago and asked me if I would chair the committee this year, and I said, look, I have my hands full, but I'm going to do all that I can to help you. But again, like I said earlier, part of my prayer is always to lead me to the places that I feel like I need to be. And I called James and I said, James, I know we have so much going on, but they asked me to do this and I don't know. And meeting you today and hearing what you had to say, I decided that I'm going to chair it this year. So I'll be reaching out to a bunch of you guys, just FYI.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Okay. You literally have one sentence. So think about this tight. And Sean, I'm going to start with you because you're really good at this off the top of your head, and I'm going to give a little bit of time for everybody else.
You give me too much credit, but go ahead.
I know. One sentence. What's the one piece of advice you would give?
One piece of advice I would
to
give.
Everybody in the room.
Build relationships.
Thank you. Beth?
Be a good cookie.
Mike?
How do I follow that?
I know. Drink? No.
I just say, exactly. It's not working.
Sorry.
Be a chameleon, man. Be flexible because things are never going to go perfect, and just shake it off and find another way to do it.
Great. Amy?
Say yes.
Shara?
Trust the process.
Fantastic. And Dawn?
Oh gosh, so much pressure. I'm going to go with do good.
There we go. Everybody, let's give these folks a nice round of applause. Congratulations on your award winning tonight and this afternoon. And we're going to turn it back over to Rebecca to bring us home.